Oh, what sort of church only allows children to spend 20 minutes a day with their parents? Well, that's just one of the shocking claims being made about Scientology by someone in a position to know. Scarlett Hanna grew up in the religion and her mother is the president of Scientology in Australia.
I lost my father. I had no one to talk to. I started hanging out in parks because I was so socially isolated, and this led me to being raped by a convicted murderer.
Scarlett Hanna endured a horrible youth.
I can't describe it. It was just an incredibly lonely childhood.
So where were Scarlett's parents while all of this was going on? Well, they were busy helping to run the Church of Scientology.
What about children? Do you ever see them? Oh, that's right. L. Ron Hubbard didn't believe parents were good for children.
Sheila Huber is another woman who says she's cast herself free of the shackles of Scientology. She worked as a nanny for the controversial religion and now wants to tell the world about the appalling treatment of children that she witnessed.
I couldn't believe it. It was wall-to-wall cribs. There were just under 30 children, and they were under my sole care. I had no training. I had never really spent much time babysitting young ones like that, and they were all under the age of 3 years old.
Scarlett's family signed the famous billion-year contract with Scientology, and her mum, Vicky Dunstan, is now the president of the church's Australian chapter. As a result, Scarlett says they lived in separate houses, and she was only allowed to spend 20 minutes a day with her parents.
I just think that the church needs to take some accountability for, what it was involved in. Maybe apologise to some of these people that have had, such traumatising experiences.
Scarlett was under a lot of pressure not to tell her story, and she was convinced that this was the right thing.
The ABC's Steve Cannane interviewed Scarlett for last night's edition of Lateline.
I don't know what kind of backlash she will cop. All I can tell you is that she felt immense pressure not to talk in the first place.
Who is that coming from?
Scarlett was under pressure from relatives. Scarlett was under pressure from people within the church, and also friends that she'd grown up with not to talk.
So you deny Scarlett's claims. Is she a liar?
Well, some points, definitely, without a doubt.
Virginia Stewart from the Church of Scientology says she wants to set the record straight. She joined with Sarah McClintock, a childhood friend of Scarlett's, to give their version of events. So none of that ever happened?
No, not at all. Not at all. Those things didn't happen. The houses that they showed on Lateline, I lived in those houses, and they were like the best houses we ever had.
But this is far from a standalone case.
Innocent children are being brainwashed. My son is 7 years old. His father is determined to brainwash him into this cult.
Over the last few years, a host of former church members have come forward with their own tales of woe. Among them was former rugby league star Joe Reish, who was cut off from all communication with his children when he decided to leave Scientology.
They told everyone else, including my children. I cried. I was sad, it's my kids. But you don't do that to a parent. You don't do that.
Then there's Liz Anderson, who ended up snatching her daughter Jordan back from the church.
I just couldn't believe it, that I had the girl. And it was a moment of, oh my God, we're free.
If this was just a one-off, perhaps we could pass it off, but there are a number of claims of families being torn apart. Surely within the organisation, something's going wrong.
In any organisation, there's people who didn't have an enjoyable experience, and we apologise for those sorts of things, and we're always striving to do better.
Perhaps the last word on this issue should be given to the founder of Scientology himself, Mr. L. Ron Hubbard.
The one man in the world who never believes he's mad is a madman.
And late today, the Church of Scientology provided an 8-page rebuttal of Scarlett's claims, which you can read on our website.